Hey, I'm back. This is Chandler for Mellow Production, and recently somebody asked me about setting up MSoundfactory with multi-outs. This seems like it's basic, but it can be a little bit tricky, so today I thought I'd show you how to set that up in Reaper. Now, of course, the same thing should apply in other DAWs, but sometimes things are a bit different, so you might have to, look through your documentation or look online to see how to set up multi-outs in those, but it should be basically the same. So I'm going to show you two ways. The first is the really easy way, and then I'll show you the hard manual way. So the first way is lots of DAWs will have something like an insert, and just choose virtual instrument on new track, and then make sure that you use the MSoundfactory 6 out. There's two versions, the MSoundfactory and MSoundfactory 6 out. You want to use the 6 out if you want to have multi-outs, obviously. So we click that, add, and it'll ask me, do you want to add the following tracks for this effect? And so that means it's going to create these for us automatically here. Boom. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this looks like it's a master track, and these are the 6 outputs. We can check this just quickly here. I'll put something on here. So if we have additive here, and then we have drum sampler here. Give me something. Here we go. Okay. So actually, let me make sure. Yeah, MIDI. Play something. If I hit a key, so it gets a little bit loud. But you can see on the first track and our fourth track, or in this case, the second track and the fifth track, we're getting some output on there. So these are obviously going to separate tracks. In MSoundfactory, each lane here will be a different track, 1 through 6. So that's how you do it. And of course, it comes out of the generator here into the effects section like this. In the generator or the effects section, you can kind of combine them together if you want to as well, or you can even split up the tracks into separate lanes if you want to do that. So that's the easy way. Probably didn't need me to tell you about that, but in case you didn't know about that feature, that's the easiest way to do it. If you know you want multi-outs, do it that way. So let's erase these and let's do another way. So let's say you're like me and you do something foolish and you come in here and you insert MSoundfactory. You go in here, you create something you really like let's say I had, I don't know, anything you want really is kind of okay. I'll use granular sampler here. I'll make sure I have MIDI input in here. So I have that, and let's say on top of that, I just have an oscillator. And I just think that's the best sound ever. But I realize now, hey, I want to put this on multiple tracks instead of just this one. Now, you've messed up already, but I'll show you how to save this. If you've already done this, go to the toolbar. Just click this, which is the copy function. Click it like that. Make sure we copy it. We'll just get rid of this. We're going to go back in here, and we're going to add in the 6 version, 6 outputs, like this. And we'll just go back in here, and this time we're going to hit the paste. Boom. So everything's still there. So that way you don't have to lose, what you had. But you might be noticing like, hey, I don't hear that oscillator anymore. It's gone. And that's because now with the 6 outputs, it's going out of the second output instead of the first one. So the first one is just our granular, what we had there. Now, what we want to do is we want to create the other outputs. I won't do all 6, but let's do, I guess, 4 here. Okay, so we have 4 different ones here. Now, how do we get the output into 2? There's lots of ways to do this. We usually go into the input here and use the receive, but in Reaper, there's something you actually need to do first. So we'll go into this first one here, and it says track channels. It defaults to 2, I believe. We don't want that. We want it to default to 12. And that's going to be right and left channels. So it's going to be 6 channels technically, but it's going to be 12 in total because it's going to be left is going to be 1, right's going to be 2. Channel 2 is going to be left's going to be 3, right's going to be 4. So just keep that in mind. So make sure to change this to 12 here. Once I have that on 12, then we'll be able to go here to the receives, click channel 1, because track 1 is where our output is from MSoundfactory, like this. Then for the audio, we just want to choose our input. Make sure you go to stereo here. And the first one is 1 and 2. That's where we have our granular module. It seems like you want to use 2 and 3, but that's not going to work because that's going to give you like the right side from the granular and the left side from the oscillator. We don't want that. So make sure you use 3 and 4 here, like this. Play it. So you can see on track 2, we're getting that oscillator out there. And if I go in here and turn this off. Cool. Do one more here. We'll do it the same way just so you kind of remember. So we have another one here. We're going to set this up same way. Make sure we're doing track 1. We're going to go in here. We're not doing 2 and 3. We're not doing 3 and 4. We're not doing 4 and 5. Remember 5 and 6. Those are our new channels. Got that. We play it. Should be coming out of there. Let's change that because that's a little bit too difficult here. And something I had problems with that hopefully you don't, but here in the width, when I opened this the first time, actually not in this one, the width the first time, I had it defaulted like this. And when I would do something with stereo, like here, I'd say like, why isn't this in stereo? And the reason is because I have this set at 0. So make sure your width is set to 100% here. Now I'm getting stereo, and I can turn the rest of them on if I want. Okay, now let's do one more thing. I don't know why do I need to set up another one, but I'll use string here. Let's go in here one more time, just for good old time's sake. Make sure we stereo it, not 5 and 6, but 7 and 8. It's our last channel. You can kind of hear it, but you think, that string sound is getting a little bit buried in there. Now, of course, I can just turn it up a little bit. And you hear it a little bit better. But another thing I could do is make sure it's not hitting at the exact same time as the other ones. And that I can change that by delaying it. So I'll just use the delay tap and just move this up a little bit. Now, for me, this sounds like a big lag when I'm pressing my key and then it's playing. But when I put it with the other things, you'll be able to hear it too, not just me, like this. But not just that, we could use some other type of sound on there too. So let's say, I'll keep that on there, but let's try the other one. Let's maybe put a flanger or something on there. So let's try siren. Hopefully this doesn't get too loud. Okay, so you get the idea. I don't know why this is set so slow. Probably want it faster like this. Okay, well, maybe I should have done something a little bit more dramatic, but you get the basic idea. So this way you can add effects here going with these lanes. You can combine lanes in here also if you want. So if you think like, oh, okay, I want to combine these to all go into lane 2, I could take something like the mixer in here, build a mixer, and I can do like, oh, I want input 1 in there, steal that input, want input 2, maybe I want input 3 going in there too, like that. So I can have them all go out mixer or lane 2 if I want. So I can do that if I like as well. Although this is lit up, there's not actually something going out of there. So that's the way you can combine them. Personally, I probably wouldn't do that, but this is a good way to balance all your sounds. You probably have a little bit more control, and it's a little bit easier to control the volume than inside MSoundfactory. On top of that, you can use some external effects if you want to do that, and if you want to do automation, this can become really useful. So I know some people like to do that. That's the way you can do it. So hopefully I answered your question about how to set up multi-outs in MSoundfactory. If I did, give me a thumbs up. Leave me any questions or comments down below, and be sure to check out all the other plugins at melterproduction.com. Till next time, see you.